It's that time of the year again, EDC video time, mostly because I love EDC videos. I have always loved EDC stuff. So I put a lot of effort into, well, everything I get, but definitely what I carry with me every day. I'm not going to bury the lead here. We're going to start out guns blazing with a grail item. And get close. The Chris Reeve Sebenza. You already know. It had to happen. So if you go down the pocket knife rabbit hole deep, deeper. No, deeper. You end up with the Chris Reeve Sebenza. Chris Reeve is the Rolex of pocket knives. That's not to say there's not other great knives out there. You got Benchmade, you got Spyderco, both classic brands. You got Crazy Rainbow knives. Listen. Crazy Rainbow knives. Do you have a Crazy Rainbow knife? It's better to be the guy with a Crazy Rainbow knife. It's better to have a Crazy Rainbow knife and not need it. Okay, so after owning this for some time, I can confidently say it lived up to expectations. It is an endgame knife, but it's not perfect. There are some things that are a bit annoying with it. Mainly, it's gonna be this thumb stud that you open it with. It's gonna hurt. There's a break-in period, and your thumb is gonna be wrecked for the first couple weeks. It's gonna be painful. Do you want it or not? You gotta earn this. Do you want it or not? Chris Reeve just goes all the way, so all the materials are the best. The handles are made of planed chunks of titanium with a perfectly refined grit texture to them. Yeah, perfectly refined grit texture. I said that. And I meant it. That's how deep I go. Okay. I care a lot about this stuff. Ouch. So I read that Chris Reeve's tolerances are 1/10 of a thousandth of an inch, which is less than a human hair. So that, coupled with the highest end materials, this is all metal, means it sounds like a tiny G-Wagon door. It's like opening and shutting a little G-Wagon door. I love this knife. I think this is the most beautiful knife ever made. I have ever since I laid my eyes on it. And I think I should devote an entire video to this. Let me know if you want to see it. Let me know if you want me to make one, or if I'm just going to be making this for me. So I think in my last EDC video, I forgot to talk about watches, which is a horrible crime. I'm going to fix it now. So I wear basically 3 watches. If I'm running, I wear a Garmin Fenix. If I'm being a gentleman, a classy gentleman, I'm wearing my Rolex Explorer, the 114270 for the nerds. This is my grail watch. It's it for me. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing I really want from here. It is subtle, it's classy, it's sporty. It's just forever my favorite. And with all that said, 4 out of 5 times I'm wearing a G-Shock Square. But not just any G-Shock Square. I'm wearing the, if you know, G-Shock Square. The GW 5000U. Oh, I love this watch. I needed something for a sketchy motorcycle trip in southern Mexico. I needed something that was stealthy, that would completely fly under the radar, but was special. I think what I love about this is, despite it being one of the most premium G-Shock Squares out there, it's the most understated. In fact, there's only one color on this. It's this tiny little red trapezoid. There's a reason why Rolex guys wear these. It has all the fixins. You got a softer strap, you got a metal case, which gives it this wonderful heft. It's got all the bells and whistles like solar and multi-band. Only a watch guy would want something like this. There's nothing to prove. Only the owner knows it's special. It's a rad watch. Let's talk headphones. And I realize this is now becoming, again, another coffee shop EDC because headphones ain't fitting in my pockets, but that's okay. I used to rock Sony XM3s, and I still submit wonderful headphones. But I wanted to see what would happen if I went. So, I ended up testing a bunch of them, and I decided to keep the Bang & Olufsen H95s. Didn't love these when I first got them. In fact, I almost didn't keep them. They are not as comfortable as the Featherlight Sonys, and I initially did not like the way these sounded. They were almost overstimulating for my ears. These just have more gears than the other headphones I tested, like lower lows, higher highs. Once I got used to it, I got it. And just look at them. They're gorgeous. The H95s were Bang & Olufsen's flagship headphones. They've been succeeded by the H100s, which I hear are better effectively in every way, except the price tag, which is eye-watering. But those are built to be serviced, so it's an investment. While we're here, what else is in my baggie? Which this is the Filson original briefcase. This is what I'll be using the rest of my professional career. I've come too far, okay? I've earned this patina. Sunk costs are a thing. This is my forever briefcase. It's staying. Now's the part of the show where I talk about my $200 water bottle. But it gets worse, because it's not even a water bottle, it's a sake bottle that I use as a water bottle. But it's not just a sake bottle, it's a titanium sake bottle from Snow Peak. Listen. The mental gymnastics that you're going to have to do to pull the trigger on this thing, you're going to question yourself. There's a delta that you're going to have to jump, leap across. It's not going to make sense, alright? Until you look back and you'll realize it was the one all along. This is what you've been searching for. This weighs as much as the keys in my pocket. I've weighed them. So if you're comfortable with throwing your keys in your bag, you'll be just fine tossing this in your bag. It's unnoticeable. Speaking of keys, let's talk my keychain. So, as many of you all know, I had a leather goods business called Caseyco back in the day. So most carryables that are in leather were made by me. So I made two versions of this keychain, and I love both, but this one's my favorite. I made it with this beautiful English bridal leather, but it's this Japanese brass hardware that took me forever to source that does it for me. It's just developed this beautiful patina. I've mentioned this before, but I'm thinking about re-releasing some products from my old business, and I've had so many people reach out about these. This is probably going to be the first one. On the topic of leather, let's go with my wallet, which is another Caseyco product. The Bifold. This is made with Chrome XL leather and hand-stitched with linen cable thread, the same linen thread that Hermes uses on their crazy expensive bags. My philosophy with Caseyco is designing distilled products but using the highest end materials in construction. True story, if a stitch was off when I finished a wallet, I would throw it away. Beauty of a hand stitch, by the way, is twofold. One, it's just objectively a stronger stitch, and two, it's just easily repairable. Like, I've worn away this whole top line of stitching on my wallet. I'm going to be able to repair this in really short order. It's time for the electronics fire round. I made 3 big upgrades this year. First one, I went from the M1 MacBook Air, which is still a beast by the way, to the 14-inch M4 MacBook Pro. 2 things to note. One, I never really listened to speakers that much on laptops because they suck until this. The speakers on this are really impressive. 2, you need to know something about me. I'm a plant. I either have to work outside or by the window. So I opted for a little upgrade on this baby. I opted for the nano texture display. No regrets. It's been pretty remarkable at how much glare it cuts out. Next, I got rid of the Remarkable tablet. I couldn't take it anymore. I loved the screen, couldn't take how slow it was. So I got an iPad mini, and this is what I use for note-taking and design work. I really love the size of this thing too. Sometimes this is all I'll take to a meeting. I won't even take a bag, I'll just take this. And then finally I upgraded from, I think, the iPhone 12 to the 16 Pro. It's great. Camera's great, display's great, battery life's great. Wish it was smaller. You remember the 4S? For all the camera bumps and plateaus and shit? Them's were the days. Them's were the days. Sunglasses. Years ago, I went down a rabbit hole after seeing Johnny Depp looking super cool, as Johnny does, and he kept wearing a certain pair of sunglasses in every photo. And I went on a hunt to find out what they were. Well, it turns out they are Moscot Lemtosh, so I actually reached out to Moscot because the size seemed unique. They seemed small. So I emailed them and I was like, what size is he wearing? And it turns out they're size 44. Back when I got these, you had to custom order them. So you had to buy them as eyeglasses and then have sunglass lenses put in them. Now you can buy them as sunglasses in size 44. They've been pretty great. They're starting to fade a little bit, and they do slip down my nose when I sweat, but besides that, I just think they're kind of iconic and just such a classic looking pair of sunglasses. Okay, I gotta wrap this up, and I'm ending it with fragrances. We need to include fragrances with EDC. You're wearing a fragrance, right? I'm always wearing a fragrance. Even if I'm exercising, I'm wearing a fragrance. By the way, the only allowable fragrance when you're working out is Molecule 01, the ghost of fragrance. I once caught a whiff of a guy wearing Baccarat Rouge for his workout. You're going to jail, dude. You're going to jail. I have a lot of fragrances. This is some of them. My go-to is Santal 33 by Le Labo. I didn't like this at first. I didn't get it. I went to a Le Labo store, sprayed it on the piece of paper, and all I got was this heavy scent of dill. And I was like, what are you all on about? This is terrible. A year later, I went to a store, sprayed it on my skin, which I should have done initially, and it all clicked. It was the one. It was everything I wanted. It was kind of rustic. It was leathery, tobacco, green, but it was also complex and classy. It was like a Midwestern James Bond. This is my most complimented fragrance, but the close runner-up is Eau de Baux, which is a fraction of the cost, so a little insider tip. Alright y'all, that's it on this one. Thanks for watching, you know we appreciate it, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.